Hey, and welcome to another SoundLearn tutorial. Today we're going to learn how to rewire Reason into Pro Tools, and this should apply to Logic, Ableton, or any other DAW. I'm pretty sure it works the same, as long as ReWire works for the DAW. Just follow the basic steps. So here we go. Gonna make a new track, Command-Shift-N. You can use Command and the arrow keys left and right and up and down to change this. So mono, stereo, left and right. So we're going to go stereo, and then up and down on the arrow keys goes down, and we're going to go down to instrument track. Very, very useful to make quick stuff. So here we go. Name this Reason. Always name your tracks. And we're going to solo safe it, Command, and then hit click on the S. The reason you want to solo safe is so that it never gets muted when you solo something else out. I'll explain why later. And let's go into multi-channel plugin, instrument, Reason. And this is assuming you have Reason, obviously. I have Reason 5, not the newest version, but it works. Here we go. We've got this empty template that opens up. We're not going to be using the MIDI tracks over here. First thing you want to do before you do anything is right-click here in Reason, open up a mixer. The reason you want to do that is because you want any instruments that you open up out here to be able to be routed through here into ReWire and into Pro Tools. So we've got the mixer there, and then we're pretty much ready to start adding tracks. So let's say you like to use the NNXT. We open that up, wait for it to load. It's there. I like to minimize this stuff. And we'll just go with one of the default stuff. Let's go with the vibes. And now we can jump back into Pro Tools. Got Reason, and we can't control the instruments yet. So what we have to do is, again, Command-Shift-N. We're going to go Command, down, arrow to go to MIDI track. That one can't be stereo, obviously, because it's MIDI. So we'll hit create, creates it. And here, here's what you're going to do. We've got the NNXT. If you want to control a certain instrument, you need to make a MIDI track for that instrument. So what you're going to do is click this output and put NNXT1. And as you add more instruments into Reason, you will see more instruments to choose from. So now we can name this NNXT. And if we hit record enable, we can go to our MIDI keyboard. And we can obviously control Reason. So to put this a little bit more into a solid state of mind, we will add Kong in here. Kong. We've got the default kit, so we'll close that up, and we're gonna again Command-Shift-N, Command down arrow until we get to MIDI track. Hit Enter. I'm gonna go ahead and name this one Kong because I know it's going to be Kong. We go out here on the output again, and you'll see that Kong pops up. So Kong. And you don't necessarily need a MIDI keyboard to control this. You can go select over here just one measure. Shift Option 3 to consolidate an empty region. Double click it. We've got our stuff. Go down to 1. Whoops. And go ahead at F4 to go on back onto the grid. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll move this over here actually. Let's do a different beat so we can. And you see that over here, it's obviously controlling Reason. But then we can also go over here while that's going. Okay, so you've got that going, and you can control your instruments like that. And now the reason this was solo saved was so that, let's make a long loop of this, that while you're playing this, you can hit solo on this, and you can still hear the keyboard. Because if you didn't have it solo safe, let's unsolo safe it. And I solo safe, and I solo this. I'm playing it right there, and there's no sound coming out because this is now muted when you solo this. So you want to solo safe it. Very important. Now, the thing you got to be careful with when you're working with Reason in ReWire mode is that you're obviously summing every instrument you're adding straight into Reason. So it's all going to be coming out through this stereo track. So when it comes down time to mix, it's a very good idea to bounce your tracks to audio separately. There might be a faster way to do this, but the only way I know how to do this is to literally bounce it out in real time. So let's go ahead and try to see how we can do this real quick. So if we want to get this kick, or the Kong kit, let's go ahead and add some more stuff. Just go add the snare over there. Just duplicate that all the way. Really basic beat, whatever. Command Shift N, Command right arrows to make it stereo, because this output is stereo. And we're gonna make an audio track, so it's set up there. Let's name this Kong. Whoops, Kong. I usually put A for audio, Kong A. And now, let's bring this down here, and we're gonna change the output of this to a random bus. I already have a bus all the way at the bottom that I renamed record bus, but you could really just put anything. So let's put 4142, rename record. And now we're going to put the input of this audio track as record, which we had just set up. So now, as you can see, literally it's going out from here into here, which is audio, rather than just the main output. Now we record enable this. And this is where, obviously, let's before we even do that, I'm just gonna like literally butcher this and just add a bunch of random notes just for the sake of, it's gonna sound terrible, I'm just warning you. Oh, it's kind of freaking out on me. All right, here we go. It's gonna sound terrible, obviously, because we've got everything going there. Sounds kind of cool, actually. But point is, if we were to record this down to audio right now, you're obviously going to hear you're going to hear everything all together, which is fine if you just want to track it down to audio. But we want to start separating stuff, because this is imagining we're going to now mix our little masterpiece. So I'm going to solo Kong. Whoops, you might want to solo the audio track too so you can hear it. I'm going to solo it. And there we go. We've got a Kong track. And then we can do it again. Command Shift N for a new track. Stereo audio track. And now let's name this Crazy Vibes, because that's what I want to name it. Gonna unsolo this again. Take your bus input to record. And now we're going to unsolo the Kong and solo the NNXT. So you've got that bounce down, and now you're free to mess with it how you want, put in EQs, plugins, whatever. Yeah. So that's basically the gist of using Reason with Pro Tools, and it's really useful, I feel, because there's a lot of cool sounds in Reason. And just remember, make a new MIDI track for every instrument you make in Reason, and yeah, bounce it down to audio when you're done by separately if you want to get around to mixing.